A Super Bowl champion.
The Green Bay Packers have won the Super Bowl.
The Packers' all-time leading scorer.
A game winner for Mason Crosby.
It's time for the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nellis, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers, on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, and on the free Odyssey app.
All right, so how do we work out a three-way trade where the Bucks, the Blazers, and the Knicks get Giannis and Drew Holiday both to the Knicks, and then the Wizards buy out Chris Middleton's contract, and he signs a veteran minimum contract for the Knicks? If that happens, will you cheer for the Knicks to win the NBA title? This is the Mason Crosby Show presented by Verizon. I'm Mitch Nellis, a.k.a. Thunder. Tommy Wirtz here as well. It's a Human Wednesday. Tommy, rocking the nice pat. You got the nice green sweatshirt with that. You look good today.
I look put together.
Yeah,
Thanks.
you do. Yeah,
Thanks.
you do.
Yeah.
Not quite Josh Albrecht-esque, but close.
What is Brooke Lopez doing in Los Angeles too? Like, can the Clippers get involved and send him over to New York?
Well, especially because New York will be getting rid of Cat to whoever makes that trade.
Drew Holiday get citizenship by next Olympics and play for Team Greece? I
can't believe he didn't start that like 10 years, like
that's
5
what
years
we
ago.
need. That's what we need to realize, because apparently Drew Holiday is the dream teammate again of Giannis Antetokounmpo. Maybe. Which is all we hear now is all maybes. And I thought Snide brought up just an excellent point at the end of the show,
which was
these always come out when he gets hurt. These always come out when he gets hurt, man. And maybe it's got to be strategic at this point every time.
Well, the last time it came out, and the first time he talked when he came back a couple weeks later, he was like, well, my agent works for me. I don't work for my agent. My agents are allowed to have conversations. I don't know what's going on. And I'm like, first of all, like that
BS.
was right. Total BS. So we're going to start. And because the Shams bomb, which are like Shams, like what's the opposite? Like if you're at war and you throw like a pencil at someone, it's a Shams pencil throw, like as opposed to a Woj bomb.
Yeah.
That's where we've gotten with Shams, the sham of all Charanias. But and there's no like, oh, I'm reporting. We haven't heard anything from Giannis. We haven't heard anything from the Bucks. We haven't heard anything from anyone else in the NBA. But Shams is reporting that all of a sudden these talks are ramping up. So basically, you're a lying sack of dung.
Ooh, that got close.
So lying sack of dung is reporting that trade talks are getting close. I'm not like, are we still here for this? Like, what are we here? Like, trading Giannis might not be a mistake. Okay, we've talked about this the past few days, and we've talked about this for months. Trading Giannis might not be a mistake, but to have ESPN running this narrative and running these stories over and over, and then Wendy has to comment on what Shams said, basically regurgitating the exact same bullcrap that Shams said, bringing nothing new to the conversation, where Shams is just mixing words around, bringing nothing new to the conversation.
Right, and
it's like we keep hearing it over, like, and Doc. I mean, Doc said it the other night. Like he finally admitted, like this is annoying. Like this is frustrating. Like having to talk about this and having to think about this. Like this is annoying.
Well, and even a couple of days ago, Perk commented on it. Yeah. They got national media saying, like, this is annoying. I'm done talking about this.
And Perk is a Giannis clown. Like, yes. Perk is one of the first guys to comment on everything. Like, he knows anything about what's going on.
Well, and just get ready for the victory lap of Shams in a couple weeks here, right? When he gets traded, and then it'll be like, we had this. We had this before anyone else did, even though it's
telling you for 3 years that the Bucks were going to trade Giannis. Yes. I threw up 1,700 darts at the board and one hit, so I'm a genius. That's why he's the sham of all Charanias. That's why he's full of bull crap. He's such garbage.
Do you think today, however, Mitch?
God, I wish he was here. I would say this as a Shams. Why are you so full of crap? Like, why, is that your job? Like, is your job to be just like crappy at what you do?
Yeah, I mean,
you actually think you're good by doing all this? Like, or is this like, or are your bosses telling you you have to do this or they will fire you? Because to save your job, if I'm Shams, I would do all this if it's to save my job. My boss will say, if you don't do all this Giannis crap, you're fired.
He wants to be Pablo Torre so bad. He wants to just
Doesn't he just want to be Woj?
No, he wants to be Pablo Torre, like breaking these stories to make sure that everyone knows that he had the first scoop on whatever is going on.
Yeah, but Pablo Torre hasn't broken that many.
No, but he's breaking it's a bigger picture.
Right,
like he's going a little past sports and yeah. Shams thinks he's right. What do you mean? He doesn't think he's wrong when he's tweeting this out. He's way too big a following to be tweeting out wrong stuff. Like he's tweeting all this out because he's hearing from an agent, and you would think he would learn at this point because he has had the Giannis narrative for so many years behind him, trying to force a trade to happen in Milwaukee. However, what I was going to ask you, Mitch, is it time, if you are a Bucks fan, to start like weighing the options, looking ahead at what is the return? It's not, is Giannis going to be in Milwaukee? Is he going to get traded or not? Is it time to shift into what can the Bucks get for one of the best players in the NBA?
Before we do that, what I do think Bucks fans need to do is just get mentally accepting of that this is going to happen at some point. Okay? Giannis is not going to end his career. Actually, that's not true. He might end his career as a Milwaukee Buck. Giannis is not going to be a Milwaukee Buck for his entire career.
Okay.
Whether that is February 4th or 5th, whether that is this summer, whether that is next February 4th or 5th, or next summer. At some point, Giannis will be on another NBA team, not the Milwaukee Bucks. And I just want that to sink in. I just want to say that out loud, that is the truth. You might not want it to be the truth. You might not want to accept it as the truth. But at some point, Giannis will wear a uniform for another NBA team. Hard stop. Send that telegram. Okay? Telegram 1 sent. Now, we can play with the NBA trade machine all we want. I think it's hard to play with the trade machine sometimes when you know that there are so many picks involved or the potential of picks involved, because that does affect, that doesn't work into the trade machine. But the trade machine's fun to play with. I know that the Golden State Warriors there's already a tweet out that the Warriors have made it known that a package involving Jonathan Kuminga, Jimmy Butler, and picks could be had for Giannis. Right. And Tommy just opened his mouth. I actually don't hate it as much as you hate it. I don't like it at all. I don't like I don't like it. But I think that's within the realm, depending on what those picks look like. I mean, Jonathan Kuminga, if he got traded to the Bucks and Giannis wasn't here, Kuminga's averaging 20 a night. I don't know if that's good or bad. I don't know if he plays defense. I don't know if he's the right kind of guy. I don't know if he's a Milwaukee guy. I don't know if he's embraced here at all, but he's averaging 20 a night. He is that type of guy. And the question is, if they got Jimmy Butler, could they flip Jimmy Butler either this year for somebody who needs him next year, or next year at some point for something else? If the Bucks were to trade Giannis to Dallas for Anthony Davis and picks, could they then immediately turn around and trade Anthony Davis for more picks?
Well,
and is it worth? Then you're starting to build a cache of picks that will make a difference. Now, the problem is it Dallas's picks? And if Dallas has Cooper and Giannis, are you getting first-round picks in the 20s? Or are there other picks that you're involving in this? Are there other teams you're involving in this for better picks? Because picks in the 20s, as the Bucks made very clear when they traded for Drew Holiday and then for Dame Lillard, they were willing to give up all their number one picks because they just assumed they'd be picking 26th every year.
Right. And
they didn't think a season like this was going to happen.
No, not with Giannis on the roster, at least. It's not fight for the play-in. I think I saw they have 3 wins. They're now without Giannis on the court all season,
that's
too.
Right, 3-14?
Yeah, something along those lines. This team is garbage around Giannis, and I feel for Giannis in that way because they just made a bunch of boneheaded moves, and I quite frankly, I think we're going to talk about it later in the show. John Horst, it's time. It's just time, I think, at this point. And Thank you for your service, for what you've done for the Milwaukee Bucks organization. Just hasn't worked. It just has not worked during this time.
Well, the Drew Holiday worked. And John Horst is responsible for bringing a title to Milwaukee.
Yes.
He is part of that team, no doubt about it. And
5 years ago.
Yes. And the trade even more than 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
The question is, do you trust Horst to manage this Giannis situation correctly and to get max value for him, whether that is between now and next Thursday, which is the trade deadline, February 5th, or during the offseason? We all know that this draft is a loaded draft. And so can the Bucks make a move that makes sense for them in this year's draft specifically? Or is it during the offseason? Or do you start next year with Giannis on this team? You tank the rest of the year. You shut Giannis down. You say, we're going to try to get one of the top picks. You get Cam Boozer. You put Cam Boozer next to Giannis, and all of a sudden, you got a 53-win team again.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, that's 100% what I would do. I would wait for the lottery and then try to finagle your way into that top three if you're not in that top three. However, there was some reporting also going around saying that don't be surprised if the Pelicans or the Blazers are involved in a 3-team type trade to maybe get the Bucks back control of some of their picks that they traded from New Orleans or with Portland, either two with Dame, just to get some of their own rights back to their own picks, which I'm intrigued with that. Then this Bucks team can truly make decisions based on how they would like to go in the future with this team after. But I don't think that's what's going to happen. I don't think that
he's going to be traded.
I think he's going to be traded. I think he's played his last game as a Milwaukee Buck right now. If I had to guess today, that's what my thought is. And I did not. I felt that after he diagnosed his injury, right. that is, and that we've gotten no reporting on the Bucks or from
nothing
other than Doc saying oh yeah, he definitely hurt his calf. He was right on that.
I'm in my email right now.
No duh, because his calf hurts or whatever it is. I just think that this Bucks team, it's a good point to bring up with Horst. Look at the Nico Harrison last year, right? I mean, did he deserve to be the guy who picked Cooper Flagg after you are the guy that traded away Luka Doncic?
Well, and that's why he got fired this year.
Got fired immediately.
He got lucky. He was not the guy who deserved that. 414-677-1250 is the phone number. Jim Owczarski, the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, is going to join us in the next segment to continue this discussion. I also think, Tommy, that there's a chance that Giannis has played his last game for the Bucks and they don't trade him. In terms of they wait to see what pick they get in the lottery.
Right.
And if they get one of those top three, because while it's a top heavy draft and there are 7 or 8 players that can make an impact, the top 3 are really setting themselves apart as the guys that you want. And then they get, if they get a top 3 pick, then they go back to Giannis.
Mm-hmm.
And then they say, we know the Dame thing. Listen, we thought the Dame thing would work. Thunder said the Dame thing would work because the two, but you guys were never healthy together. It didn't work out for other reasons.
Right.
And, and now we have a roster that we know is not great, but we think if we bring in so-and-so, whoever that 1 through 3 is, with this roster, all of a sudden Miles Turner doesn't need to have all this pressure on him that he's the number 2 guy, right? All of a sudden Miles Turner can go back to who he was in Indiana. And he can just be a role player. He can move. He can hit threes. He can block shots. And Bobby's gone and Kyle's gone, and we're getting younger. But we've got Rollins and we've got KPJ. We've got AJ Green. The backcourt's okay, and we've got young guys, athletic guys coming in. We're not just talking about how we're going to play faster with 97-year-old Doc Rivers. We're getting a new coach who actually knows how to coach a team in 2026 as opposed to 2008, which Doc did a great job.
Yeah.
Listen, managing those egos.
Get out of the way. That's all you had to do.
Yeah, but there was more to that.
Basketball coach is the least important coach in pro sports, maybe.
But we're getting a new coach in. We're gonna change things up a little bit. Giannis, we think it's worth going into the 26-27 season Now, if they don't win the lottery and they get the 9th pick, then they turn around and trade Giannis.
Sure.
Then they say, all right, we're rebuilding. We need more picks.
And then on top of it, just try to find your way into that range. Like I love the idea also. You brought up,
right now
Anthony.
the Bucks have number 7.
They can't not trade for someone who the salary matches up. So that's why there's the Jimmy Butlers, the Anthony Davises being attached to it. While I don't really want either of those guys being a part of the future of this Bucks team, the idea of stacking picks and then stacking picks again, I love that. Like that's what the Thunder did, right? It's just get the picks, get a guy that you have to bring in because the money works, and then get the picks again for him. Just continue to get picks and picks and picks. I would rather see. I would rather leave it up to chance than with the Giannis saga now after post Giannis, that is, as opposed to trying to make it work.
Yeah, 414-677-1250 is the phone number. Dustin is in Menominee Falls. Dustin, you're first up on the Mason Crosby Show. Human Wednesday here, talking Giannis and the Bucks.
Thank you for taking my call. I'm in acceptance mode that he is going to leave. But, retrospectively, I want to kind of do a cross comparison between the Packers and the Bucks. And here's what I want to look at is there's something to be said about consistency. And I think once we started over fiddling with the team, firing Boomhauser, getting Dame, getting rid of Holiday, which, that's turned out he got himself another ring, right? I think the over fiddling, especially with a basketball team. Now, an NFL football team, you got to fiddle every year. It doesn't mean, every year you got to be fiddling, but the Packers, I think, with re-signing LaFleur, finding that consistency, that the Bucks need, I feel like, to take a note of that. If we're going to rebuild from the ground up, let's do it, but let's stay the course and not over fiddle and not, too many sauce packets in the pasta, whatever. Just
right. Yep. I like that one.
Well, and Dustin, I mean, unfortunately, like after you did the fiddling for Drew Holiday, for Damian Lillard, for Miles Turner, like they traded away all of their consistency. Now they are forced to fiddle again. So they are in this endless cycle.
That's what the fiddling does.
Until they get rid of Giannis, it feels like. They will have to fiddle until then.
Thanks for the call, Dustin. And Tommy, right? That's what the fiddling does.
Yes.
Unless it works. Listen, they fiddled when they got rid of Eric Bledsoe for Drew Holiday.
Yep.
Right? But the fiddle worked. And then they thought, we're getting old. We have a chance to get one of the best scorers in the history of the NBA. This could work. And listen, if Giannis and Dame and Chris had all stayed healthy, we're never going to know, right? We're never going to know. And that's why I can't, I wish I lived in that alternate universe where we saw what happened. And maybe they don't win, but they win a round. They win a couple rounds. The Pacers don't become this crazy thorn in their side if they're stomping on Halliburton's dad's neck and saying no, you got no shot. Like we're still the Bucks. They would have still been the Bucks if they could have stayed healthy. They just couldn't stay healthy. And I don't know if there was a way to know that Dame couldn't be healthy. But that's the thing the other NBA teams are looking at. Can Giannis be healthy? We'll get into that. Jim Owczarski, Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, Bucks beat reporter. He's going to join us next on this edition of Days of Our Giannis. As the Giannis turns, the young and the Giannis. What other good soap operas are out there?
That's all I got. Young and the Restless.
Yeah, Young
Days of Our Lives. That's all.
Days of Our Lives, and then and As the World Turns. That was a good one back in the day. So as the Giannis turns, Days of Our Giannis, the young and the Giannis. The soap opera is in town, ladies and gentlemen. The town is the state of Wisconsin. This is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon. This is the Mason Crosby Show presented by Verizon. I'm Mitch Nellis, a.k.a. Thunder. Tommy Wirtz in the house as well. What's up, Stinger?
Hey, what's up?
Just checking that out.
Yeah.
Testing it out.
It's all right.
That's a cool nickname, Stinger.
Stinger's a better nickname than Changa, for sure.
Well, Trevor's a better nickname than Trevor.
Yeah, correct.
I don't know.
Correct. A little programming update.
Yeah.
Owczarski going to go later in the show.
Yeah.
He's dealing with all this, his words, quasi-news stuff.
Yes.
So
that's exactly what it is.
that's what we'll get him on this show here, but he'll be a little bit.
Yeah, he's going to try for 120 at this point.
Okay.
So Michael McCleary, BadgerExtra.com is going to join us at 1, and then Jim Owczarski at 120.
Be a fast 1 o'clock hour.
Yeah, it really will. But we're going to jump right back into things here. 414-677-1250 is the Nicolay Law talk and text line. And while we were palavering, lots of text messages coming in, lots of people speaking up about what they are seeing happen in the NBA landscape. I love JB in the 920 says, you are on drugs if you think I'm going to cheer for the Dolan family to win a championship ever. I hadn't really thought of that, but that's a great point. Like the Dolans and James Dolan specifically are kind of the worst ever of all time when it comes to NBA, like maybe not as bad as Donald Sterling, but pretty close. You're like, as much as fun as I think it would be to see Giannis and Drew team up again, maybe not with the Knicks. I don't know.
Giannis is going to, this is the other team that scares me because there's another report that came out today.
Yep.
And it was like Jeremy Sohan has been granted access to get a trade. And if I get Jeremy Sohan in return for Giannis Antetokounmpo,
no, it's got to be like Sohan,
this.
Castle, and Johnson.
Well,
3 NBA starters.
I think people would actually probably prefer, like, just go to the West, go play with Wemby, go win 10 rings. Sure, fine, do that.
414 writes in, couldn't agree more. Of course, if you say the same thing 10 times a year for the last 10 years, it's bound to be true eventually.
Right.
Shams has done this constantly, always. Sources tell me, but never listing those sources. I was taught from a young age that if you're listing a source, cite that source. Other 414 says, just so full of, you know what? 414, Shams is a sham. Scams has tweeted out the wrong stuff for 7 years. Another 414, Tommy, in life, sports, whatever, change is inevitable, and it's tough to accept. The older you get, the easier it is. That's true, but that doesn't mean it's easy. Peter Fagan leaving is a sign that big changes are coming, says 262. You can break it down. What players are garbage. It should be that you should be getting rid of. And it's like, I hear all the emotion. I read all the emotion, and like, it's fun right now, this second, to have the vitriol directed at Shams. Like, he's the one reporting all the crap. And it's like, honestly, like, when he comes out and says he's right, I hope there's a backlash. I hope that other people say, yeah, but you were reporting this for the past 4 years. So you're full of crap. We all know you're full of crap. But our attention shouldn't be on Shams. Like, our attention should be on Giannis. It should be on the Bucks. It should be on what's best for Giannis. What's best for the Bucks? Do we cheer for the name on the front of the jersey, or do we cheer for the name on the back of the jersey?
Nice.
And we learned this really in Wisconsin during the Brett Favre years.
Well,
right?
Yeah.
Did you, Tommy? Did you buy a Jets jersey with Favre on the back?
I did own a Favre Jets jersey.
Did you really?
No, I wouldn't have went to Minnesota, but I did get the Jets one. Yeah.
So you were a Brett Favre fan as a youngin?
Yeah. Of course. My first memories of watching Packer football are with Brett Favre. Mm-hmm. And now I transitioned into I am Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Greater than sign.
Okay.
Brett Favre, but I still absolutely wished him nothing but the best when he left for New York, and that changed when he came to Minnesota.
Of course. Yeah. And I think that's fair. But in general, in Wisconsin, we learned that the difference of rooting for the team on the front of the jersey versus rooting for the team on the back of the jersey with Brett Favre, because while I like to think, I think most of us either remain Packers fans or came back to being Packers fans. There were a lot of people who I would say were never really Jets fans, but we're Favre fans.
Right.
And so we're cheering for Brett Favre. And I wonder how that translates today to Giannis being a Milwaukee Buck.
Right. And
right. Go ahead.
I like your thought here because it feels like the easy comparison was going back less time and comparing this to Aaron Rodgers' departure as opposed to going back to Brett Favre's departure. But Mitch, I don't remember a Wisconsin sports fan base being so frustrated with a Wisconsin sports organization. And yet now I go back and I'm thinking of the Giannis versus Bucks situation, and it is way more comparable to Favre than it is to Aaron Rodgers because
I agree.
It is a divide, again, of are you team Giannis or are you team Bucks versus are you team Brett, are you team Packer? When Aaron was leaving, it felt like, all right, yeah, we've been talking about this for a while. Like,
right?
Some people wanted to trade you 3 years ago, like, as opposed to when Brett Favre left, it was you are deciding to go with the team versus the guy who saved the franchise. And it was a saving of the franchise for Giannis too, where, yeah, they were in that, 8 seed range all the time. And some people are always going to be like, I loved when Brandon Jennings was here and I loved the Monte Ellis teams as well. But it is much more comparable to Brett Favre's departure and the divide it has caused a fan base now more than it is Aaron Rodgers leaving, if you are trying to make comparisons.
Yep. I love that you just mentioned Monte Ellis. Can we just go back in time and get Steph instead?
Dude.
Can we just get Steph instead? Oh, his ankles. He's going to have bad ankles for his whole career. So we don't want him. We want Monte instead.
You wouldn't trade Giannis's career for Steph's career. In Milwaukee? No.
Probably not.
No.
But Eric in Watertown says, Giannis has a ton of money. I'm tired of hearing about it. Let the national media get their wish and let's focus on playing ball. Trade him. 224 says, Bucks rebuild finally begins with getting a load in a Giannis trade. And 262 says, Giannis gets traded on Thunder's 50th birthday.
Oh,
yes, this Tuesday is my 50th birthday.
Will Thunder be 50 or will Giannis not be a Buck first? I love it. We should do something on the show for it. Whatever happens first.
Yeah.
You're going to have to eat like 50 hard-boiled eggs if Giannis gets traded before your 50th birthday.
How much, and I wish, like, I don't know, do we need to get our buddy Nick Wilson from Cleveland on the show to talk about Jimmy Haslam? Like, how much of Giannis's relationship with Milwaukee, with Wisconsin, with the Bucks, how much of it has deteriorated literally the day Lasry sold to Haslam?
Well, and how much of it is avoiding ripping off the Band-Aid because of the business decision too, where you've built a new arena, you charge ridiculous prices at your arena and for your parking around there. And why is that going to be a selling point if we don't get to go watch one of the best players in the world play at that arena every time? Because now it's going to be the ticket prices are going to be crazy when the Lakers are in town and when the Knicks are in town. Yep. And it's going to be all looking at who's coming to play in Milwaukee as opposed to let's go see Giannis play tonight.
Right. I can't even imagine if Giannis is not on the Bucks. What are we doing with that building?
What's the second most sold jersey on the Bucks right now, if you had to guess?
Right now.
I'm going to see if I can find it.
AJ Green.
Who is it, right? Bobby? Probably Bobby.
Is it still? I bet most people who wanted Bobby already have Bobby right now. Like, is Miles Turner still number 2? Because a lot of people bought Miles Turner, and that still counts, like, from when the free agency signing happened.
Google Gemini still says Dame. Yikes. Again, this is
right.
Where do you even market next? It's not going to be Kevin Porter Jr. It's not going to be Kyle Kuzma. It's not going to be Miles Turner because everyone's already out on him after what way to mess up your first 2 months already or 3 months with an organization now, because he's never getting out of a hole that he's in right now too. I think that's weighing a lot in these decisions as well, because the business side, if you are Jimmy Haslam, it's going to take a hit when you lose Giannis Antetokounmpo.
You think,
right now, I don't know if it's helping or hurting with this drama surrounding it.
Does he regret his decision to buy into the Milwaukee Bucks today? Does Jimmy Haslam regret that decision, or is he so proud of himself, patting himself on the back for hiring a new coach in Cleveland, somebody who finally said yes to him as Cleveland hires the Ravens outgoing offensive coordinator, who is ready to take the offensive coordinator job with the Giants if he didn't get the head coaching job in Cleveland?
Yeah, I mean, maybe. Say, I think this text that you just read, where talking about trade Giannis and, the rebuild begins, like, focus on playing basketball now. Like, let's just focus on it.
Okay.
If the Bucks are trying to tank, is it almost more beneficial to wait to trade Giannis?
Right.
Because then you can less focus on basketball. Like, they don't need a Hornets situation where they want to rattle off 10 in a row or something like that in the middle of this dumpster fire of a season. They don't need that. So if you keep Giannis and keep this drama and keep all this nonsense going on, like, sure, take all the focus away from basketball you want right now with this team. That's the level I'm at also.
But it also takes, if they don't trade him by February 5th, it takes some of the drama away. Like, then people start conjecturing, well, what do you do with Giannis in the offseason? But at least February 5th through April 14th or whatever the end of the season is, like, there's no drama there. You can't do anything with Giannis. You just shut him down, right? You get him healthy. You figure that out. And then there's less drama and your team stinks. And so you end up with a top 10 pick. Jason Wynn Lake says, Giannis has greatly damaged his trade value with this drama. I'm not expecting anything major as far as players are concerned. Picks, on the other hand, will be plentiful. 414 agreeing with us. Seems like everything started a full blown out collapse. One of all things, a Cleveland Browns owner became Doc Rivers' boss. 360. Bucks need to wait till the offseason for Giannis trade to get the biggest return possible. 414 says, pretty sure nobody wants Monte Ellis back.
There were some Monte stands. There were some Monte stands.
Yep.
Again, like, in hindsight, you could have Steph. Like, that would have been way cooler. But
J-Rock says, let's go fire Doc, trade Giannis, and let's focus on the Bucks again, not the player. Man, I wouldn't mind. It's so hard, right? It's so hard to realize. 414-677-1250, by the way, if you want to get into that cavalcade of texts, of thoughts, or if you want to call in and have your say. It's so hard to think about, like, I said this, I do a crosstalk every day with Kuhn and Rami and Brandon at the end of their show. And I just, like, part of me just wants to take a step back and just be like, man, we had Giannis for the past 13 years.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we had a great 13 years, man.
Hell
From his tackle of Mike Dunleavy, when the Bulls were absolutely embarrassing the Bucks, and a young Giannis gave no bleeps and basically tackled Dunleavy on the court, to the awful 2019 playoff collapse against the Raptors, and then the 2020 bubble, and then the 2021 championship. Thank you, Kevin Durant's toe, for being on the line. And the Bucks and Drew Holiday with that steal and the alley-oop to Giannis and winning game 6 at home. And while still having the COVID cloud hanging out over us, 80,000 people outside of Fiserv Forum celebrating together. Like, there are so many positives to the Giannis legacy in Milwaukee that, I will be honest, I don't know what's going to happen here. I'm going to remember the good far more. I'm going to remember that this all devolved. We're all going to remember that this all devolved. But we got a championship. We got a parade. Do we want more than one parade? Yes. Did we want more than one parade with Brett and with Aaron? Yes. Should the Packers have been to more than 3 total Super Bowls? Yes. Should the Bucks have been to more than one NBA championship series? Yes. And it sucks that we didn't. And if you're cheering for the name on the front of the jersey, my question is, does it make more sense to hold on to Giannis for another year, for as many years as possible? Or does it make more sense to turn the page? And just like getting Eric Bledsoe and thinking you had a championship team, then trading for Drew Holiday and getting a championship team, then trading for Dame Lillard and thinking you were getting even better. We don't know the answer to that question. I don't think anyone knows the answer to that question. 414-677-1250 is the phone number. It's also the talk and text line, Nicolay Law. We are the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon. It's likely that Giannis is traded soon. We see that with our eyes. But if it happens, it doesn't validate 10 years of Shams making crap up. But if it happens, Shams will get credit for being on top of it. He's not, and he wasn't. He's a piece of you-know-what who lied an eventual truth. That is a recent tweet sent out by good friend of the show, Bart Winkler. And Bart and Thunder have never been more on the same page than that take. And it's like, for me, it's like, it's just sad and embarrassing for like the level of journalism that like doesn't exist anymore.
He's not a journalist.
But he'll tell you he is.
No.
He'll tell you he is.
If I Google Shams, it's going to say American journalist or,
No, he will tell you he is.
Yeah, he's not a journalist.
I'm not saying AI will tell you he is. He thinks he took over for Adrian Wojnarowski and is the top national reporter journalist for the NBA. That's what he thinks.
He's not a journalist.
I know. I agree. But that's what he thinks. I'm Mitch Nellis, a.k.a. Thunder. He's Tommy Wirtz, a.k.a.
Tommy.
Huh? What'd you say?
Tommy.
Tommy.
Yeah.
I said Tommy.
Yeah, nice.
That's weird. Remember when you were Thomas?
Yeah, still am.
To who?
I just filled something out today where I had to write Thomas.
Right, but it said full name. Like
Right.
I write Mitchell when it says full name, but I'm not I'm not really Mitchell.
I mean, I think
Like,
you are.
People, but
Legally, you
but
are.
People, right, but people don't call me that.
Does the IRS call you that?
The IRS does, I ignore them. Do you who calls you Thomas out loud?
My mother,
Okay.
my father,
Okay.
my siblings.
Okay.
Any other immediate family, distant family. Like I'll get a Tom everyone. 0% of people call me Tommy.
How did we become Tommy then?
It's just
Do you want to be Tom?
no.
What do you want to be?
I like the separation in my brain of if you
Oh.
call me Thomas, I know you this way.
Oh.
And if you call me Tommy, I know you that way.
All right, I got to think about that. 414-677-1250. Thunder Watch coming up in a minute. Let's go to James on the south side of Milwaukee. James, you're on the Mason Crosby Show with Thunder and Tommy.
Yes. What happens if Kevin Durant, we don't have that thing happen and we don't go? Are we going to be still talking about this now, or would Giannis been traded by then? Because
James, that's another multiverse that I'm curious about, right? Like the multiverse where Dame and Chris and Giannis never get hurt. I'm also interested in what if the Bucks had lost that series to the Nets and never made it to a finals? Like, would Giannis have been traded 2 years ago? Or would maybe Giannis is healthy and they never make the Dame trade, or maybe there's a different trade? Who knows? Like, that's a great question, James.
Would we be talking about it now, or or possibility that who knows? On that. I mean, because I think that was our one shining moment, but
that was.
Now we don't have no shining moment, so now
but James, and thanks for the call, James. We still had the shining moment. 2021 happened. Kevin Durant's foot was on the line, and the Bucks did win an NBA championship. 414 says on the Nick Laylaw talking text line, 414-677-1250. It doesn't matter if we trade Giannis. We can't draft to save our lives, and haven't since Giannis, and we got lucky with that one. I mean, I'm still going to stick up for Jabari Parker. That was the right pick.
Yeah.
You can't predict 2 torn ACLs.
Right. I mean, and in return, you would have got Joel Embiid.
Right.
Like you'd be dealing with the same thing.
Exactly.
Like you'd
Every
have
year.
You'd have a little bit higher peak.
Right.
And the same frustration.
But Philly hasn't won anything.
Right. Yeah.
So 414-677-1250. Keep those texts coming in. At the top of the 1 o'clock hour, we're going to go to our buddy Michael McCleary from BadgerExtra.com, talk some Badgers hoops, some Badgers football, and then Jim Owczarski from the Journal Sentinel. We are efforting to have it 1:20. He was scheduled at 12:20. He has to deal with all this Shams crap. So he's literally like got the 409 and the paper towels like cleaning the walls because Shams pooped all over the walls wherever Jim Owczarski is, and Jim has to clean up Shams' poop.
Can we put Shams on Thunder Watch, or he's too national?
He's too national,
Okay.
and he's like,
right.
He's just a bum.
Yeah, I get it.
Like,
Update on who is on Thunder Watch.
Let's update that.
A lot of coaches, as Luke Fickell, Doc Rivers, Shaka Smart. I don't think any of them are quite ready to come off
Shaka's
yet.
off.
Wow.
After
one game.
After one game.
Because
again, you need to be relevant enough to be on Thunder Watch. And Marquette basketball is just not going to be relevant this year.
Okay.
So, like, we're keeping our eye on Marquette, but, like, Shaka's off. Like, Shaka, you go do your thing, man.
All right. Fine. Shaka's off. Then we go into the front office. That's where we have Ed Policy, Jimmy Haslam as well being on Thunder Watch.
Policy's off.
Policy's off.
Yeah, I don't need policy on it right now. They hired LaFleur, everybody's re-upping.
Even though they just don't tell us anything.
Right, yeah.
Like, I feel like, no. All right. That's fine. That's fine. Then the player side of things, Miles Turner, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Rashawn Gary.
Yeah, they can all stay.
Yeah.
They can all stay. All right. Any candidates?
This week on Thunder Watch? No, I like the list, man. I do. Like, and especially because, like, it feels like the criteria has gone up. We are now like the baseball Hall of Fame instead of the basketball Hall of Fame to be on Thunder Watch, especially with taking Policy and Shaka off. Like, who is in as deep of doo-doo as the guys we just named? Luke Fickell, Doc Rivers, Chris McIntosh, Giannis, Rashawn Gary, Miles Turner, Jimmy Haslam. Like, is there any new person who is in the doghouse like those guys? I don't think so.
You know what? We got a few minutes here. 414-677-1250. Feel free to shoot us a text. Is there anybody you want to see on Thunder Watch based on that list? Are there any Bucks? Are there any I mean, the Badgers blew that lead to USC.
Yeah.
But I'm not ready to put anybody from the Badgers basketball team on Thunder Watch just yet. We'll see how they do. They're playing Minnesota, at 8 o'clock
Keyshawn
tonight?
Nixon just for this week for the Pro Bowl?
I
mean,
gross.
It's a thought. It's a thought.
It's definitely a thought.
That's all I got.
Nah. I mean, it's just
it's a good list right now. It's a good list. The criteria is high to be on this list. All of them have earned their place on this list. They've all been on for a little bit. Let them marinate. Once Giannis is gone, he can get taken off the list. Jimmy Haslam can be the president of the Thunder Watch fan club after.
Minnesota is at Wisconsin tonight, 8 o'clock on the Big Ten Network. When we come back, Michael McCleary from BadgerExpert.com. He's going to join us to talk about Badger basketball team. The football schedule just got dropped. And did the Badger football team actually get a commit from the state of Wisconsin?
No.
Did that happen, Tommy?
Oh, my.
Unbelievable. Me fail English? That's impossible. This is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. He's Tommy Wirtz. I'm Mitch Nellis. It's a Human Wednesday here on the Mason Crosby Show on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
A Super Bowl champion.
The Green Bay Packers have won the Super Bowl.
The Packers' all-time leading scorer.
A game winner for Mason Crosby.
It's time for the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nellis, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers, on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, and on the free Odyssey app.
1 hour down, 1 hour to go here on the Mason Crosby Show. The Bucks continue to lose. Giannis is out. What is next? Frank Madden's great. He's Locked On Bucks, right?
Yeah, all those Locked On Bucks.
Locked On Bucks podcast. He's going to join Sparky today at 4:20 to continue this Giannis conversation. I'm very adamant about like how I manage Thunder Watch. And I always like to have it like it's got to be you got to have a Wisconsin tie, you got to be a Wisconsin athlete or a Wisconsin sports personality. But somebody texted in to the Nicolay Law Talking text line something that I got to throw it out there. 414-677-1250, of course, is that Nicolay Talking text line. Someone in the 920 said Fiserv Forum concession prices on Thunder Watch.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
This is the outside the box thinking we're asking for.
Exactly.
People. Yeah.
This is the goat. Like if we had text of the day, like does Jim Rome still do that? He used to do that 100 years ago.
Even if we had
emailed
we should have like a Burley meter. Remember when Mark Burley made that play on Sports Center and it was like, when will this be dethroned? Like that's text of the day for a while right now until further notice.
Fiserv Forum concession prices on Thunder Watch 1,000%.
Love it.
And the concessions themselves are all dried out and terrible. Like it's just like it's such a debacle of a business that I just want to like slap people in the face. I know I can't do that legally. I go to jail for that. I did see that Peter Fagan will be honored at a Key to the City and proclamation ceremony tomorrow at 9 a.m. I might have to get to that. Do I have to go to that? I assume it's going to be inside.
Included in your 10-game package?
It better be inside. That's all I'm going to say. It better be inside. All right. We're going to take a break from all the Giannis, from all the Bucks, until my phone blows up with more breaking news that Sham says that a rumor that Earth might rotate around the sun. Wait, would he be right? Oh, wait, he would be. That's not his rumor to share, though. 414-677-1250 is the phone number. Joining us now on the guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. He is Michael McCleary, BadgerExtra.com. Michael, good day to you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Michael, what do you think about the Giannis to the Badgers? He's still got some college eligibility. I know he talked about Marquette last year, but how about Giannis to the Badgers?
Yeah, I mean, he never played college, right? So he's got the 4 years.
Yeah. Well, let's go.
I'm sure he could get 6, 8, 10 years if he wanted to.
Yeah,
I know. It sucks, man. Michael, it sucks. I do the same thing, man. I can't do it. I can't do it. But, the Badgers just coming off their 6th loss of the year. What the hell happened in that game, Michael? I mean, it was like, this is the time to be a Badger fan. And then USC, like, they blow it. Like, once everyone got excited.
It's because nobody was watching because we were all watching football. They thought they could get it in under the radar, right, Michael?
Yeah, I mean, their shooting was not great that entire game, and you still thought they were going to pull it out, and it would have been interesting because during this 5-game streak, they had been hitting their threes, and you wonder, will this team be able to win when they can't hit their threes? And Sunday was definitely an example where you felt like if they were to pull that one out, oh, okay, like 6 games in a row, like a different way to win. Like this Wisconsin team is still trending upwards, even though it got a little scary at the end, but they obviously didn't hit just one more three.
Right.
And that's all it would have taken. Just one more three. But yeah, it wasn't, I didn't think early in the season, they just seemed like from a process standpoint to be like way off on both sides of the ball. And I didn't really feel that watching Sunday's game. It just, they were getting a bunch of open shots and just missing them, which I guess happens sometimes. But Yeah, definitely not a good loss for them. And you could kind of see, they were, bordering on a couple wins away from an NCAA tournament lock based on the bracketologist opinions. And now they're sort of going in the direction towards the bubble. Not on the bubble yet, but
it's just one loss. Yeah, it's just one loss. Michael McCleary joining us here on the Mason Crosby Show. So I see you are an AP voter, top 25 voter.
I am, yeah.
Okay. Did you vote for the Badgers in the top 25 in your last vote? And if you didn't, were you prepared to vote for them had they won that USC game? Because it's my contention that they would have been ranked if they had been able to hold on to that game.
Yeah, so I ranked them, I believe, 25 after, was it Rutgers the Saturday before?
Last weekend. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I ranked them 25 then.
Yeah, it's fair.
And I was prepared to put them in the same spot, if not a spot higher. I don't think, I was really super moved by the week that they had last week, assuming that they would have pulled out that Southern Cal game.
Right.
But then after they lost that game, I took them out of my.
There's no way, right?
Yeah.
But you talked about like being on the bubble and being a lock. They're somewhere in between that though, right? Like they're not a lock, but they're not on the bubble right now. Like they're in the field, right?
Yeah, a lot of bracketologists are saying very likely or high odds, that type of whatever you want to call that.
Right. Yeah. Michael McCleary joining us here, BadgerExtra.com. Make sure you check out his work at Mike J. McCleary on Twitter as well. When I see this team, when I watch them play, Michael, everyone was going to love Nick Boyd. We all knew that when he was coming over. John Blackwell comes back. Everyone's already familiar with his name. But it just seems like their success is very contingent on Nolan Winter day in and day out. Like if he's getting 10 rebounds in a night, they're going to win, it feels like. And he's their third leading scorer right now. If he has a big day, it's all on him. Blackwell, obviously only with the 11 against USC. But to me, like Nolan Winter feels like it's the most important piece to this Badger team. Am I reading that correct in your eyes?
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely been the most steady. And just based on how consistent he's been, you'd think that a game that he doesn't show up to, they would have no shot. Yeah. And obviously, like he's rebounding the ball great, and there's not a lot of guys on the Badgers, especially with the forward depth that they have, that could come in and do the things that he does. So without him, I mean, when he was on the injury report, I don't know if it was this past game or a couple games ago, the general consensus when anybody saw that news was, because if he misses a game, I mean, that means that you're giving freshmen more time. Billy Owczarski is going to have to play the game of his life, getting rebounds and defending the paint. I mean, that's a tough spot to put young guys in. And Nolan's been incredibly consistent this year, and obviously has shown in certain games that he can take over a little bit. So yeah, I would agree. He's definitely one of the major pieces, but John Blackwell's up there, and Nick Boyd, just with how consistent he's been. I mean, you want him to keep being as consistent.
Those three guys are the guys that are really carrying this team. And we know like it's kind of a 3-man team. Different guys contribute on other nights. And when they have, a couple other guys really step up, then they're really good. When it's really those three guys, they can carry the team. But it's a little bit tougher. Is that besides those three, who do you look to now that we're about to be in February? So as we get to the stretch run of the season, the last full month of regular season play, then looking into March, is there a fourth guy that you think can elevate themselves from where they've been to this point in the season and step up and really help those big three as we look toward the last quarter of the season?
Yeah, in recent weeks, it's been Braden Carrington, who, I mean, the Badgers, they had those big three playing pretty solid for that first part of the season, but they had nobody off the bench. And Carrington was kind of in and out of the rotation. It even seemed like he got injured, and then there were games that he just didn't really play many minutes at all. And since he's gotten his defensive effort up, he's been able to impact them with his 3-point shooting. And really, I mean, he's become a pretty dynamic player for them off the bench, and that's a big deal. But I keep on waiting for Jack Janicki to show a little bit more offense.
Yeah,
I think personally. So personally, I very much disagree with the people that have been down on Jack throughout the year.
Okay,
because so he plays about 17 minutes a game, give or take a minute or two. And I really think in terms of a defensive talent standpoint, he might be the most talented defender on the team. Like the way he uses his body, and he's really strong for his size, and has really quick feet and just really good defensive instinct. I totally understand.
Leads the team in steals per minute, by the way.
Yep. He's a playmaker, and the Badgers need playmakers in the defensive end because maybe they're not gonna every single possession rotate perfectly, but if you got a guy who's jumping passing lanes and getting steals, I mean, that's turnovers, that's points on the other way. That's huge. So I keep on waiting for him on top of that to start displaying that opportunistic offense that he displayed last year as a redshirt freshman, because I feel like he hasn't had a game where he scored 10 or 12 points yet. And I just feel like that could really elevate them in a game, swing like a major matchup for them.
Well, and Michael McCleary is joining us here on the Mason Crosby Show. Let's broaden it out a little bit into Big Ten picture right now, because the Badgers find themselves in that middle of the road, right? Like, they're not Purdue, I don't think, but they're better than Ohio State. And the Big Ten is so stacked with basketball this year. And down the stretch, like, the Badgers are going to have to figure out what they're going to do against some of these teams. And who could have predicted Nebraska was going to be as good as they've been right now? How do you look ahead now at this Badger basketball team? Before we go on, my bad, I did not realize that happened down there. But how do you look ahead at this Badger basketball team and what they can do in the Big Ten? It is, like, to be noted, Greg Gard always gets these boys up for the Big Ten tournament. It feels like they always find a way to get themselves back into contention and really make a push at the end of the year in that specific tournament. Like, how competitive do you think this Badger team can be against the top part of the field, your Michigans, your Nebraskas, your Michigan States?
Yeah, well, we saw what they could do against Michigan, So,
right.
And I think that's a different basketball team than the one that played Nebraska a couple weeks before then. So I think they'll be competitive. I think they should enter the Big Ten tournament the same as they have in previous years, thinking that maybe they could win the whole thing. It's going to make for another long week of coverage for me out there. It would be the third straight year where they make it to the championship game. But, I definitely think that's very much in the cards. I think this is a really stacked Big Ten, and it's very, very, very powerful at the top. But I think the Badgers can be in that mix. I don't if you look at the standings right now, everybody's within 2 or, 1 or 2 games of each other in the top 6. And, the Badgers are 6-3. If they go on a run, I mean, they could be in that mix at the end of the year for one of those top 4 seeds. And depending on how some of those top teams fall, maybe even think for a second that they have a shot at the Big Ten title. But I think it's a really, really loaded Big Ten. If you finish 500 in the conference, you're looking pretty good in terms of postseason. But yeah, I think the Badgers should be up there. They should be feeling good about themselves.
It is interesting. You guys talked about this, that those top 5 teams have really separated themselves. They're ranked 3 through 12. And then you got a bunch of pretty good teams, the Badgers, UCLA, Ohio State, Indiana, Iowa, and USC. You could probably group in there. It'll be interesting to see how this all plays out. And with all those double buys, not everybody makes the tournament, right? They still have a couple teams that don't make it. I think everybody should make the tournament. I think it's like 16 of the 18 make it. And last year, yeah, something like that. I remember realizing, because it was the first year that they had expanded to the Pac-12 teams, and there were a couple teams that weren't at the tournament. And I didn't like that. Like, everybody should make the tournament. Even if you're terrible and you're going to get boat raced your first game, like, you should get to go to the tournament. Like, it's a conference tournament. It's not the NCAA tournament. That's just my 2 cents.
I do believe this might be the first year that it's 18, but that could be next year. They did change the rule, but nice. I don't know if it goes into effect this year or next year.
I want to switch gears. I don't know if you got a chance to look at the Badger football schedule yet. Not the slate of opponents, but the actual the matchup. The schedule came out, I think. Mm-hmm. And obviously leading off, taking on Notre Dame, but that game's at Lambeau, right? Is that the Lambeau game? Yep. We knew who the opponents were, so it's not really that newsworthy when the schedule comes out. because we already knew who all the opponents were. But is there a different feel around Badger football getting in 426 new transfer portal players and just like kind of overloading that? Like, is there a sense of optimism in Madison right now about the football team, or do you think fans especially are more kind of like wait and see, and Luke Fickell still has to prove something?
Hey, look, I'm going to answer around this because I'm men's basketball pretty much all the time. But
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
So I will say, just based on feel, and men's basketball goes through this offseason too.
Yep.
Every offseason is rah rah, everything's awesome, and I think that's a pretty common thing, especially in this era where there's so many new players and every player comes in with some level of hype, and that hype only mounts each player that comes in through the door. So it definitely
okay. Well,
happens.
then let me ask you on this. Like, why is the Badger basketball team so much better at the portal than the football team? Not necessarily in getting the high level guys, but just the guys that come in that fit the program that they're trying to do.
Yeah, that's a good question. I wish I knew a little bit more about the football portal process to answer that, but Wisconsin, as it's kind of evolved with the offensive system that it runs, and they have a pretty clear idea of who they're recruiting, and I think they understand the value of recruiting the person as well. So that's something that the Badgers basketball staff does a really good job of, making sure that these players are a character fit, and they fit the mold of players that want to come in and do everything that they want to win and be a part of a group that does play winning basketball. So with the offensive changes and just the clear vision that they have for the players that they want, I think that's how they've succeeded. But they don't shoot 100% either. They recruited some players that haven't been really great players for not even just this team, past years as well.
Do the Badgers get back on the winning way tonight? 8:00 late night for you tonight, Michael. 8:00 tip. The Golden Gophers are in Madison tonight. It's on the Big Ten Network. Do the Badgers get back to their winning ways tonight against Minnesota?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Minnesota's leading scorer, Cade Tyson, it sounds like he's doubtful for the game. At least I saw a report on social media about that. So, yeah, I mean,
you can't believe everything you read on social media, though. If you did, Giannis would be on 7 different NBA teams right now, which is physically impossible.
Yeah, and I'm sure they'd all welcome that. But yeah, it's but yeah, I mean, I think so. I mean, playing at home against an opponent that's not at full strength, team that's been struggling a little bit lately. I think they're a well-coached team. They move the ball pretty well. They're better than their record suggests, but if they're without their leading scorer, I think that's going to be tough. But yeah, I think it'll be a closer game than maybe people are anticipating it to be. I'll say that.
Okay. All right, Michael, thank you so much for jumping on today. Breaking down the Giannis news no, I'm just kidding. But breaking down Badger basketball, we're definitely keeping an eye, as we said. Those 5 teams in the Big Ten have kind of separated themselves, but the Badgers are right there, and with a win here and there, as they're looking at Illinois, Michigan State next week or in 2 weeks, they got a chance to make some waves there in the Big Ten. So thank you so much for jumping on the show today, and we'll definitely talk to you down the road.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You bet. Michael McCleary, BadgerExtra.com. Check out his stuff at BadgerExtra.com. Also at Mike J. McCleary on the Twitterverse. Jim Owczarski is scheduled next. The Bucks beat reporter with the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel. We know he's been pretty busy today trying to clean up all the poop that Shams just like poops out of his, just mouth and keyboard. I didn't know keyboards could poop before Shams Charania, and then Shams showed us all that keyboards can indeed poop. This is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon. This is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Remember, Frank Madden is going to jump on with Sparky today at 4:20 to talk all of this Giannis hullabaloo. That's right, all this Giannis hullabaloo that we are dealing with as the four-letter network has decided that Giannis is officially on the trading block and is going to be traded, and everybody's talking about it. The Hawks have an offer out. The Spurs have an offer.
Who's the next superstar? Who's the next superstar that gets forced out of their market?
I mean, it has to be Joker, right?
Like, is he the next one?
Doesn't it have to be him?
Like, well, where else? They're not going to do that with Shea because of what he's doing, right?
They'll do it with Shea eventually.
They're kind of doing it to LeBron, if you count that right now. But who's the next superstar that they're going to force out of their team? Because
it's got to be Joker, right?
They better start as soon as Giannis gets traded. Because within a month, there's going to be rumors about some perennial all-star that wants out.
414-677-1250 is the phone number. We are efforting Jim Owczarski. We know he's pretty busy today. If we don't get him today, we will effort him for tomorrow. Our thanks again to Michael McCleary for jumping on, talking some Badger basketball. I'm not. What do you get it? Are you all in on college basketball? Like, do you watch it from the start?
I love watching, like tonight. I would love watching the Badger game because we are in this, no more football, no more college football regular season or bowl season. Like, what else? Sparky brought this up to me, I think, last week. It's like, with the college football playoff ending, like, what is television weekday programming?
Yeah.
Like, what are you going to watch on a weekday now? Random college basketball game? Yeah, I'm down for that. I love this is
Wait,
just
do you watch random games?
Every once in a while, the random high-profile ones. I just watched Illinois.
Dude put up 40.
Yeah, that's the game. I watched that game. Yeah. So that was a great game to just turn on. Right, that was the Purdue game when they went into Mackey, and that's the most points a freshman has ever dropped there.
All right, there are 3 teams involved in ranked teams tonight. Would you watch any of these games? Butler is at St. John's.
No.
Okay. Houston is at TCU.
No.
Florida is at South Carolina.
I think that would be in the lead. I'm going to watch the Badger game overall.
Yeah, I feel like Houston is in the lead there just because I'm kind of interested. Like, are they actually good?
The Big Ten's the most fun basketball to watch right now, and especially if you are a guy who's like the NBA product is garbage, which no fault, like totally get it.
Right.
Like, I disagree with watching the Big Ten basketball slate right now is unreal. What between Michigan, Purdue, Illinois, like Michigan State is crazy. Michigan State, how does Michigan State every year have a highlight of some guy catching a lob from half court?
They are 19-2, 9-1 in the Big Ten. Michigan's 19-1, 9-1 in the Big Ten. Nebraska's 20.
Yeah, Nebraska. They just lost their first game. Yeah.
Right. So last night was must-watch TV if you're a Big Ten college basketball fan, because it was Nebraska at Michigan, number 5 at number 3. Michigan wins by 3 points. I think that means Nebraska might be like for real-ish.
Oh, yeah, they're for real.
Yeah.
Ken Pom loves them. Ken Pom loves the Big Ten
Jay
this
Saunders
year.
at Potawatomi Casino Hotel.
I'm sure he does.
Yeah,
sure he does.
Jay's a big Nebraska guy.
Yeah, Ken Pom, their top 10 rankings have 5 Big Ten teams in there right now. So do with that what you want, whether you trust Ken Pom or not. I mean, you have to because of how well the tournament does when looking back at Ken Pom. But I mean, Purdue, they're in a skid right now. They've lost their last 3.
Yeah.
But they lost
Indiana last night.
They're still 17-4 right now, doing their thing. The Illinois team, they're the hottest team in the sport right now, maybe. And Michigan was good until they ran into Wisconsin, right?
Well,
like I love it.
And that in contrast to, if you were watching the NBA last night, Bucks Sixers was on NBC. And the late game, I think, was Pistons Nuggets, maybe, which ended up being a really good game. But what came out of the NBA last night is 2 brawls. Did you see that there were 2 brawls in the NBA last night? I love a good NBA brawl, man.
Yeah.
Like, because there's no protection. Like, it's just you. Like, you don't have a bat or a helmet.
And those dudes are bigger than football players.
Right.
Even,
in football, you're wearing pads.
Yeah.
At the end of the Pelicans Thunder game, Lou Dort was just a total jackwagon and started a total rumble. And then in the Nets-Suns game, some dude I've never heard of before on the Nets got a little retribution against Dylan Brooks.
That doesn't limit it down on Nets players.
Yeah, that's true. But two fun rumbles last night. If you were watching the NBA last night, 262 writes in, the only people that like college more than the NBA are guys who like watching people miss shots. Wow, 262 taking a shot at college hoops. Here's my issue with college basketball. Because I grew up at a time, and many people listening right now grew up in this time where there was Big Monday, where it was a Big East game and a Big 12 game. And then whatever Super Tuesday was or whatever, there was a Big 10 game or whatever it was. And the thing was, like, if you were watching Michigan State take on Indiana, you knew half the players because guys were there for a year, 2 years, 3 years, even 4 years.
Right.
So they built up these teams that you knew who was on these teams. You knew the players. I mean, I go back to
with Badgers, like how long Kaminsky and Decker and Koenig and Hayes were in Gasser and Brust, like they were all on the same team year after year after year. Like you can make it a Wisconsin reference from there.
And now the fact that Blackwell's there and didn't go pro after last year, like he's the guy, and Nolan Winter's there because he's not really a pro prospect.
Jack Janicki, right? Yeah,
but
same deal.
But it's like every year you got to learn new guys. And I think that's been the issue with college basketball, that I'm not saying the games themselves aren't fun, because the games themselves are entertaining. But the fact that there's so much turnover every year, I think really does hurt the product in a way that, like, I mean, March is still great.
Sure.
But again, you turn on March Madness and half the guys you've never heard of before, as opposed to half the guys you have.
Well, right, because no one's going to know the Iona roster off the top of their head anyway. Like
but even the top 10 teams, you don't know half.
I think that's the beauty of college basketball, actually, is because
the anonymity.
The people who are all in on it, when you say the team Arizona, you're thinking of multiple players as opposed to one guy. Like Cooper Flagg, when he comes into Duke, right? He's the face of Duke, and he's the face of college basketball. So there's always that one guy
right now. Cam Boozer?
And Cam Boozer is there right now. There's always a guy who benefits from it. I mean, look at Zion Williamson, right? When he was like, there's a face of college basketball. But how often does the face of college basketball hold the crown at the end of the year? Sure feels like never.
Not
and
often.
It's always the team part of the game, which I think is actually more so why the NBA has its faults, is when you think of the Milwaukee Bucks, it's Giannis, right? It's not, and it's no one else on that team. Even when you try to go a little bit off, when you go to Denver, it's Jokic. While you know Jamal Murray is there, like no one is putting him in the same category. It's about the cohesive, symbiotic relationship of college basketball teammates with each other is where people really seem to. That's why I think the college basketball stands are where they are, is that you don't have to just remember one guy and get the whole story. You have the whole story of the Milwaukee Bucks because Giannis is there. That's it.
And are you saying you don't like that?
I'm saying that's why I believe some people beef with the NBA as opposed to beefing with college basketball.
I when you talk about the storytelling and the building of being loyal to a franchise or being loyal to a team, I think there's something to be said for whether it's Giannis or whether it's like, now, are you in on AJ Green? Do you think Ryan Rollins could be a really good Buck for the next 5 or 6 years? Like, as opposed to year by year by year in college basketball. I think the college basketball game is very fun. But it's just hard for me. It's just hard for me to connect with it. JB in the 920 says, watching a 6'8", 270 pound LeBron James flop isn't entertaining. People who watch NBA hate actual basketball. There's two sides in colleges, defense and offense. NBA is a bullfighting league. Olay.
And to the point I made early in the show about how NBA coach is the most irrelevant coach in all of pro sports, like college basketball coach, people love talking about college because that's the constant, right? I mean, you had Coach K and Boeheim when it was those two guys. Bill Self still kicking around in Kansas. You got Izzo at Michigan State. St. John's was off the map again until Pitino got back in that building. Even this Badger basketball team, I still think you think Greg Gard before you even think of these players. Like, it is something that is
because they're the constant.
Yes,
right?
Like the appeal of, do you like this coach? Do you like what he runs? Do you like what he builds? Like, I do think that there is the interest in college basketball because that's a completely different angle they can take than what the NBA does, because no one cares about who the coach is of the Oklahoma City Thunder because they're going to win the championship anyway.
Right. Yep. Switching gears real quick here on the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. The Green Bay Packers hire former Buffalo Bills defensive coordinator Bobby Babich as the team's new defensive passing game coordinator and secondary coach. I know Mason sent us a text a little earlier today saying that he is excited about this move. And I think, I don't know that I'm excited about a position coach, essentially. But it seems like a good spot, a good move. And I think the concept here, and I'm stealing this from Peter Bukowski at The Leap, says that it should bring a more modern style, bring kind of adding defensive backs and hiding some of the current defensive backs deficiencies by adding a more athletic, faster defense to the way the Packers play defense.
I mean, they're already fast.
Well, they're already fast, but
that's the best trait the defense has.
I know, but I think what this hopefully will do is kind of cover up some of the deficiencies they have at cornerback.
Well, that's got to be number one,
right?
That's number one on the list of off-season. However you do that, whether it is, re-sign or bringing back Trayvon Diggs, or attacking it in the draft, however it is, like if you can bring anyone in here that prohibits seeing deficiency in the cornerback room, yeah, I think that will sign up for anyone. But again, I don't know how much impact. Like everyone was hyped for DeMarcus Covington. Right. Everyone was excited to see DeMarcus Covington come in. Yeah. And then once Micah Parsons left, you were like, wow, this defensive line also not all that great. Devontae Wyatt was having a good year until he got hurt, but Rashawn Gary regressed more than any other player on this team, probably at the same time. Yeah, exactly.
In the entire
in
NFL.
Real time. Yeah. We all watched it happen from week 8 on, the regression of Rashawn Gary. So while Crosby gets the endorsement, Babich gets the endorsement from Crosby, I can't get excited over any, even Jonathan Gannon hire. It felt like we were.
Are you excited for dime defense?
Sure.
Okay. Sure. Jonathan Gannon's Arizona Cardinals played dime the 4th most of any team last season, and the Bills played the 6th most of any team last season. So get ready for an extra defensive back on the field. I don't know what that means.
That seems like totally backwards from putting the deficiency of the cornerback room, though, too. Like, these are our worst players. Like, let's get them out on the field.
I think that Gannon, and what we've heard about him, is that he also bends to the will of his roster, right? Like he's not fully set. And that might have been the strength of the Cardinals last year, to hide other deficiencies, to have a 6th defensive back on the field. So barring huge roster changes, I don't think it's in the Packers' best interest to have 6 defensive backs on the field.
Does that mean Bo Melton's playing like every down?
Bo Melton going to be on the team next year?
Oh, God. I mean,
is there a chance Bo Melton's not on the team next year?
I don't know.
Come on.
I do you think I know Bo Melton's contract details off the top of my head?
All right. Would you, regardless of contracts, would you have Bo Melton on the team next year?
No, absolutely not. Why would you? Because did he have any highlight on defense? No.
Did he have any highlight on special teams?
I don't recall any amazing gunner moves from Bo Melton. That needs
to be the question. That if he is a highlight on special teams, I think that's the question on Bo Melton.
Well, he caught one touchdown pass in the regular season, and he's
his offense and his defense were irrelevant, I think. This year. It's the question: do you keep him for special teams?
How do we know the contract length of Joe Brady and not of Matt LaFleur? Like, that really irks me too right now. That Joe Brady got the 5-year contract, and we found that out 32 seconds after we got the news of contract agreed upon. And Matt LaFleur, we still don't even know if they signed Russ Ball or Brian Gutekunst.
We assume,
We assume that it happened. Maybe.
I don't know. I kind of assume.
I tried to get some Packers writers on. You guys know I'm not going to call them out, but they're like, yeah, we're going to wait till the press conference. So that just means never going to happen. Never getting them on ever again. At that rate.
Bo Melton, by the way, is an exclusive right free agent. Got that from listening to literally the best Andy Herman.
Yeah, great job.
That comes
Brett.
in from Brett.
I see that ERFA. Didn't even know that was an acronym in the NFL.
Exclusive right free agent. Can you?
So he will be on the team because no one's going to want him.
I don't know. Maybe he goes play with his brother.
Did you hear? Yeah, I was going to say. Did you catch that Donnie Druin drop when he brought up Max Melton?
No.
He talked about Jonathan Gannon and his development of young talent, and ended up dropping a Max Melton, and it wasn't a positive comment. But I was just thinking, like, oh, we know the Meltons.
Yeah.
So,
is there any way that like Matt LaFleur would tell his agent to leak the length of his contract? Like in a way, I was on Crosstalk with John Kuhn, and we were talking about how like players often leak their contract status or leak that they want to get traded. Coaches do that too. Like, would it be so anti-Packers if LaFleur had his agent leak that information?
Would leaking that information and it being a 2-year extension help Matt LaFleur or hurt Matt LaFleur?
Hurt.
Then I'm going to assume
3 year or more would help. 2-year hurt.
Yeah, but then he's like all the what's the word I'm looking for? The scrutiny he'd be under from, like, if it's a 5-year extension, like the fan base is going to riot. Like,
if the Packers go 6-11 next year, is Matt LaFleur fired no matter what?
Oh my God, yes.
Is
has to.
Is
what?
Is he?
6-11?
Is he?
Bo Melton should be the coach next year if they go 6-11.
414-677-1250 is the Nicolay Law Talking text line. I'm Mitch Nellis. He's Tommy Wirtz. We are the Mason Crosby Show. Bo Melton will not be the coach of the Green Bay Packers. The Mason Crosby Show is presented by Verizon. Bo Melton, coach of the Packers. Can you imagine? Just got a text from Jim Owczarski. He's going to effort to join the show tomorrow. He said, it's insane right now. So I wrote back, will a trade have happened by tomorrow? Like, is it insane because this is really happening? Or is it insane because everybody's panicking because now, like, all the Bucks are backstabbing each other and the players and the front office, and they're all in fights, and Jimmy Haslam hired a coach in Cleveland, and now he wants to fire Doc so he can hire himself to be the coach of the Milwaukee Bucks.
Todd Monken, special advisor of the Bucks.
Oh my gosh, that'd be amazing.
Senior advisor.
Can Jimmy Haslam be that? Like, can Jimmy and D Haslam together coach the Bucks?
Oh, this is so stupid.
All right, relax.
This team is just so infuriating, and I think we would all just be able to move on if it just happened.
Yeah.
And I know that there's people wanting to hang on. Rami Makloff, teammate of ours, just wants to hang on.
Yep.
And I don't see that happening.
I don't either. I don't hate the concept of keeping him till the end of this year.
Yeah, I like trading him after the lottery,
yep.
See what happens, and then maybe you can get your way into a better pick selection. Yep. I agree, but quite frankly, like, if he leaves right now, I think that's better than just him staying for as long as he possibly can.
414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Talk and text line. Mensah is going to Miami, and so is their number one wide receiver from last year from Duke, also going to Miami.
They just like casually reached a settlement like 2 days later after it was, we're suing Darian Mensah, and then it was like, oh, you're going to give us like $1 million back probably, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
How much money do you think he's making to go play at Miami? Because Carson Beck made $4.2 million.
Well, he was set to make $4 million at Duke, wasn't he? I thought that was, or wasn't it, or was it a 2-year deal for $4 million?
I don't know.
I thought they said $4 million, but I don't know if that was for 1 year or two.
So 5 at least,
or 4.5. I mean, between 4 and 5.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think he's quite making 6 or 7, but
yeah.
But between 4 and 5. 414-677-1250 is the Nicolay Law Talking text line. I do still think it's weird that we have not heard from the Green Bay Packers. Like that'll always be weird to me. That like we just don't hear, right? That there's nothing there.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah,
you're never going to.
There'll be something at some point. Yeah. Peter Fagan will be honored at a Key to the City and proclamation ceremony tomorrow, Thursday, January 29th, in the FISA Forum atrium at 9 a.m. If they trade Giannis at 8:30, will they still hold this Peter Fagan ceremony, which includes Cavalier Johnson, Milwaukee Mayor, and David Crowley, Milwaukee County Executive? Media encouraged to arrive by 8:30. Fagan will be presented with the Key to the City by Milwaukee Mayor Cavalier Johnson and a proclamation by Crowley.
Do the Bucks do a Packers and like trade them on Super Bowl Sunday?
Ooh, well, they can't trade on Super Bowl. What do you mean?
Oh, that's right. It'll be gone by then. Yeah. Never mind. Dumb idea.
No, it's more.
Trade him during the Pro Bowl.
Trade him during Thunder's 50th birthday, which is the Pro Bowl. Pro Bowl games, Pro Bowls.
Yeah.
What do you want the Pro Bowl to be?
Nothing. Just get rid of it. Who cares?
Like you don't want them to play a football game?
I would get rid of all of them at this point. I used to be the biggest stan of the baseball all-star game, but I hate that it means nothing now. People say it's stupid.
It didn't mean something before.
Yeah, it did.
No, it didn't.
It determined the home field advantage of the World Series.
Like, why?
And it should
that is
still.
The stupidest thing in the world.
No, I love that.
An 88-win team shouldn't get home field over a 104-win team.
Absolutely, they should.
Stupidest
Why not?
Ever.
It's baseball. It's a dumb baseball rule. You know how many dumb baseball rules that are awesome?
No, that
is absolutely a fun thing to do.
Sure. Would you watch the NFL Pro Bowlers play a 5-on-5 basketball game?
No.
Don't
care.
You don't want to see Micah dunk?
No, actually, in fact,
on Josh Allen?
The exact opposite. I don't need them doing any physical activity, getting hurt, doing anything like that. No.
Peter Fagan will join Sparky tomorrow on Wisconsin Sports Daily at 4:20. Frank Madden joined Sparky today at 4:20. Man, if Peter Fagan comes on and they trade Giannis tomorrow,
is he gonna laugh just a little bit?
I think he's gonna feel himself a little bit. Mm-hmm. I do. Mason Crosby is back tomorrow. If you don't follow him on Instagram, you should. He posted a great video last night of his entire house and outside area covered in ice.
He's in Antarctica right now.
He really is. It is crazy. Like, we have way less ice than he does. He's Tommy Wirtz. I'm Mitch Nellis, a.k.a. Thunder. Giannis, still a buck. This is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon.
I was so